I'm gonna show you how to build a bar for $100. By the end of this video, you're gonna have everything that you need to build your perfect first bar, including a shopping list, the prices, and all the items. All right, Darius and I love to host. And I wish I knew this 15 years ago when we started hosting our friends over, that I just needed these things and those were gonna be the most popular items that people were gonna ask for when they came over. Now, stick around because if you wanna learn how to build a bar with a little bit more, or you wanna even go to the high end and go and build a bar for around $1,000, I'm gonna show you how to build a bar at different levels, including $300 and $1,000. But you have to subscribe because those videos are gonna come out later. First, before we get started, I'm having a margarita, which is the most popular drink out there. And with your $100 bar, you're gonna have everything you need to make a refreshing drink. All right, let's get started. So, first thing on your bar, you gotta have the spirits. First spirit, of course, tequila. Now, I'm going with Espolón. It's super fresh, easy to drink, great to mix, and it's about $20 to $24, depending on where you shop for it. But if you really talk to people that love tequila and are from Mexico, they'll tell you every single time that Jose Cuervo is the most popular thing to drink when it comes to a tequila. So really, don't shade this one at around $15 to $20. With tequila, you'll obviously be able to make things like a margarita, a ranch water, which is your tequila, and a Topo Chico, or basically club soda and tequila, which is really popular right now for those watching their calories. All right, so that's tequila. The next thing you need, vodka. Now, vodka is gonna be another one of your universal players. I love Tito's, and it's on my bar every day. Not only is it American made, but it's also gluten-free, and it's from Texas. So it's a great vodka for around $17, $15 to $20, depending on where you shop. And with vodka, you can make obviously a martini, you can make a vodka and club soda, vodka and cranberry. And again, it's just gonna be one of those things that you wanna have for someone that maybe doesn't drink a lot of tequila, but likes clear liquor. So we're gonna talk a little bit more about dark liquor. Obviously, clear liquor looks like clear, dark liquor, it's gonna look dark. For whiskey, Jack Daniels. It's again, well-known, universal player. This one, obviously, Jack is from Tennessee. You've got other options out there. I would say Makers is our favorite. A little bit more, price points typically more like $25. Jack Daniels is gonna be around $20, $22, depending on where you shop. With your whiskey and your bourbon, you're gonna be able to make things like Jack and Coke or bourbon and Coke. You're gonna be able to make a whiskey sour. So these are gonna be great for the folks that love the dark liquor. Last but not least, you're gonna have your kind of option players. So for those that like daiquiris, fruity drinks, or want a rum and Coke, Bacardi. Phenomenal at $10.99, between $10 and $12. Bacardi is gonna be great for those summer drinks, but also really great for, again, if you've got the Coke, Coke, things like that. Another option, if your group, and you're gonna know your group the best. My group early on, we loved bourbon, we loved whiskey, so I really didn't have some of these other things on my bar. I had tequila, I had vodka, I had dark liquor. I would say these are options for if you do have a large swath of friends, you don't know really what to expect. The next one is gin. Gin or rum, I would say, are your options here, one or the other, depending on what people drink. You got a lot of people that like martinis, you're gonna go with gin and tonic. You can use obviously something like Bombay, $20, $25 between that price point to have gin. So you've got your spirits, right? Now you actually obviously need things to mix with them. So triple sec. I'm gonna go with triple sec. What you can do with triple sec is you can obviously put with a margarita. You can do a tequila sunrise. You can do just a couple of different things, and you want to make sure you have that to make your margarita. If you're more of a martini drinker, you're going to want to do a vermouth, either a dry vermouth. Typically, it's going to be a dry vermouth or extra dry by Martini and Rossi. Either of these options are going to be $10. So you want to do one or the other depending on if you went, heavy with a tequila, or if you've got your gin and vodka, you want to do one of these. And then you can't make drinks without something to mix it up in. You got your spirits, you got your mixers, you got to have a shaker. I like a shaker that comes with a top that you can measure in, so you don't have to spend the extra money on what's called a jigger, so to measure your alcohol out. So this one, you can get an easy shaker for $10 at Walmart. You can get it at Home Goods, whatever. I like this style of shaker. You can obviously also get a shaker that looks a little bit more like what you see in a bar. I prefer, because of the kind of the universal nature of having the top, I like this type of shaker. But if you want to look a little bit more professional, you got this one, but it can be a little bit finicky depending on, getting the locking right and everything like that. So I think the good first and more universal shaker is going to be one like this. Also, saving a little bit of money, we're building our $100 bar, not our perfect bar. I'm drinking my cocktail out of just a regular juice glass. So this is our everyday glass. You can make most of your cocktails using just your normal everyday glass starting out, right? So no extra money spent there. And I mentioned this, use the top of your shaker, or you can just use your classic shot glass if you want to kind of just save instead of buying a jigger to measure out. I can't forget, you also make sure to sweeten your drinks. You got to have simple syrup. So simple syrup, you can go out and buy it. I'm going to tell you, we've been building bars for years for ourselves. We probably bought simple syrup twice in 15 years. We make simple syrup. Here's the hack. Equal parts sugar and water. You heat up the water on the stove. Once it's hot, boiling, you add the sugar equal parts. So if you do a cup of water, a cup of sugar. So those are a couple of things. I mean, this is your universal bar, right? Everything that you need. We talked a little bit about prices. I'd say a couple things that you might want to add. You've got your sweetened lime juice, also good for just many different drinks. You can put a little bit in your Jack and Coke to kind of sweeten it up a little bit. You can also put it, you need it for your margarita. And then if you're really into martinis, you're obviously going to want the martini olives. So you're going to want to have the queen olives so that you can make your martinis as well. So let's go back through. For your tequila, you've got your options between $15 and $25. You've got your Tito's. This is the universal player. It's saving you. It's about $15 to $20 at the most. Jack Daniels, you've got that at around $20. Makers around $25. You'll do one or the other here, and then you'll do one or the other of the rum or the gin. Rum being a saver here, it's around $10 to $15 at the most. Really shouldn't be more than like $12. And then your Bombay, your gin, that's going to be closer to $20. Triple sec, $10 for the 750. This is a 1.5 liter. So the 750 milliliters, $10. Your vermouth, if you went with the vermouth option over the triple sec option, it's $10 as well. And so you've got your $10 shaker, and then you've got your simple syrup hack for equal parts sugar and water. Your glass you already owned, and there's your bar. And now the only thing that we need now is your feedback. What would you have added to your bar? What did I maybe miss? And then what do you want to see more of? So we're gonna build our $300 and our $1,000 bar. Make sure you subscribe so that you can see that when it comes out, and give us feedback in the comments below on the things that you either want to see in the future video for that, or things you wish you would have seen in this one. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.